Our game today comes to you from the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. Well, it's shaping up to be a great finish to the season. Many teams still vying for playoff spots. So thanks for joining us as the Saints square off against the Seahawks. They're lined up for the kickoff, so let's get this game started. Campbell is just about ready to kick this one away. This one is handled by Barnes. The expectation today is a lot of points from each team.
And that's because they have two of the most effective offenses in the league. They can score from any point in the field. They take advantage of opponents' mistakes. They do well in the red zone.
Number 89 goes in motion.
Hey, let's go.
A little misdirection. Kennison comes up to make the play at the 30.
When your offensive line is getting a good push up front, it's a lot easier to pick up yardage on the ground.
Ball on their own 30.
Ball on the 30-yard line.
They soft, man. Let's go.
The Saints come out in a 4-3. With a counterplay, sheds the tackle. Baker is there for the tackle. Johnny had a guy right there in his face, but made him miss.
Yeah, and every back in this league needs to be able to make the first guy miss, because defensive linemen and some linebackers are so good at getting penetration. You can't allow them to bring you down every time they get back there.
Turn it up, D. Watch it face. Keep it up.
Hand off to the tailback. Ferguson comes up to make the play at the 31-yard line. The defensive tackle stops him at the line of scrimmage. Second and 10.
Ball on the 31-yard line.
The Saints with a four-man front.
You gotta believe it. It's our game.
Closing in. Throws it, and this pass is completed. Lewis gets the reception, a 7-yard gain. It'll be third down now upcoming. Third down and 3 coming up.
Ball on the 38-yard line.
Watch the snap down. Will.
New Orleans using 3 linebackers.
Everything you got. Here we go. Let's go. Clear.
Handed off to the back. Ferguson makes the stop, and they'll be short of the marker. Number 21 makes a valiant effort, but can't make it to the first down marker. Fisher into return. He signals for a fair catch.
Fair catch made at the 21-yard line. First and 10. Ball on the 21-yard line.
Come on. From the start.
The Seahawks line up in a 4-3. On the ground. Fakes the handoff. Throwing. Number 31 is there on the stop at the 41-yard line.
You can count on him to make a handful of great catches throughout the game and really get that field stretch.
It's first and 10.
Ball on the 41-yard line.
Will. Blue down.
Eaton, the lone setback.
Get it, son. All day, baby. Come on.
A little misdirection. McGuire is there for the tackle at the 41. Nothing doing that time, John, as the linebacker gets there quickly.
He's one of those guys who's a sure tackler. He'll move up and play physically at the line, come on a blitz, and play the run just about as well as anyone on the defense.
Come on.
The Seahawks come out in a 4-3.
Back it up, baby. On the 10.
It's a blitz. Gets the pass off. The 40. Grant is there on the stop. That's a 29-yard line.
That ball was thrown so hard the defense never had a chance to make a play. In fact, I doubt they even saw it after it left his hand.
Ball on the 29-yard line.
Ball on the 29-yard line.
Out of the I formation. Going to the air on first down. With the throw, almost picked off. Clinton was the intended receiver on that play. Tanner had the coverage on the play.
Second and 10. Ball on the 29-yard line.
I'm coming through, baby. Get me going. Will.
Dropping back. Gets rid of it. The wide receiver has it. Barnes is there for the tackle at the 27-yard line. Number 89 didn't have much room to do anything with that one.
Yeah, they had the coverage, and they made the sure play instead of trying something fancy, like going for the pick.
They have to get it now to at least the 19-yard line.
Let's do our thing. Let's do our thing. What you got?
The defense lines up in the nickel. Drops back. Pressure. Gets the pass off. Turn. He has it. Grant comes up to make the play. At the 8-yard line. That's 3 times on this drive they've been able to pick up a first down.
Yeah, and the thing is, they'll be doing more than just picking up first downs if this success continues. They're going to be picking up some points.
Ball on the 8-yard line.
It's showtime, baby.
The Seahawks line up in a 4-3. Hands it off. Play action. Throws one up in the end zone. No completion there.
This is not the area to be dropping passes. To be a great receiver in this league, you have to catch the ball if the quarterback gets it to you in the end zone.
Thomas was his intended target. It's second and goal at the 8. The Seahawks with a 4-man front. Grant is there on the stop, and he chases him down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
I'll tell you, he's one of the most knowledgeable defenders in the league. He knows how to play the game, and he always knows what's going on.
It's third and goal at the 8-yard line.
Don't make the play. Here we go. DBs, let's go.
The lineup of 6 defensive backs. Steps up, goes to the end zone, nearly intercepted. Fourth down here is kind of a lot better than a turnover.
Which is what the defense should have had on that play.
Campbell will try to put them ahead with this field goal. The kick sails through. It's good. Decent drive, turning their first possession into 3 points.
And you want to get something on your first possession. They were looking for a touchdown, but the defense kind of tightened up.
New Orleans is lined up for the kickoff. Barnes back deep to return.
Nice distance. This one is fielded by Barnes. Following a punt on their last drive, the offense now makes its way back out onto the field. Ball on their own 20.
Start the drive at the 20-yard line. First and 10.
Here it comes.
New Orleans comes out in a 4-3.
They soft, man. Let's go. Everything you got.
Little misdirection. Kennison is there on the stop at the 24.
This team's always trying to get a good mix of run and pass plays.
Second and 6.
Ball on the 24-yard line.
Get it up. Stay at home. Come on. Watch
Number
screen.
19 sends a man in motion. Dropping back, pressure coming, gets rid of it. Broken up. He appeared to feel the pressure there.
So many passing attacks in the NFL rely on timing. When you can put pressure on the passer, you never give him a chance to get into a rhythm, and you force him to throw the ball before he wants to.
3rd and 6. Ball on the 24-yard line.
Stretch strong. Let us big time. Good shoot.
Drops back.
Let's do our thing. Let's do our thing.
Under pressure. Fumble. Loose ball. The Saints grab the live ball. A very costly fumble, and it's a touchdown. He recovers the loose ball and finds his way to the end zone. Campbell comes in for the extra point. The point after is good.
Points off turnovers are a big key to winning a ball game. But when it's your defense that does the scoring, that takes the pressure off your offense.
New Orleans is lined up for the kickoff. Barnes back deep to return.
This one is fielded by Barnes. A good one for the defense the last time out, picking up a loose ball and returning it for a touchdown. Ball on their own 20.
At the 20-yard line. 1st and 10.
Check it. From the start. From the start.
The Saints line up at a 4-3. They give it to the halfback. Can't bring it down. Wilson comes up to make the play at the 26. Number 21 runs it through the middle, a gain of about 6. Second down and 4 to
Ball
go.
on the 26-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
The Saints with a 4-man front.
Keep the throttle down.
Closing in, throwing. Incomplete pass. A little bit long, overthrowing the receiver.
That might have had something to do with his follow-through. If you release the pass just a little late, you're going to see underthrows or balls thrown into the ground. If you release it too early, then you'll see an overthrow like that.
Ball on the 26-yard line.
The Saints come out in a 4-3.
Here we go.
Here they come with the throw. This one falls incomplete.
I'll tell you, the defense made a great stand right there.
On the play.
He comes out to punt for the second time. He's waving for the fair catch.
Fair catch made at the 34-yard line.
Ball on their own
Drive
34.
At the 34-yard line. 1st and 10.
Yeah, you see me.
Eaton, the lone setback. Pressure, throws it. He hits his receiver. Number 31 is there on the stop at the 45. Johnny has such a quick release, and the ball is out before anybody knows what's happening.
That makes it hard for him to be sacked, and it gives the defenders less time to react.
Ball on their own 45.
Ball on the 45-yard line.
All on us, y'all. Get some slug going.
Only one man in the backfield. Dropping back to pass on first down. Gets the pass off. With the adjustment, he has it. They'll spot this one at the 26-yard line. There's 3 tackles so far for him today. Clinton makes his second catch for a first down on this drive. First and 10.
Ball on the 26-yard line.
The Seahawks with a 4-man front.
Blue down.
The blitz is on. Gets rid of it. No completion there.
And now and then you'll see a guy take off running with the ball before it gets there. Looks like that might have been one of those times.
Second and 10. Ball on the 26-yard line.
Will. Here I go.
The Seahawks line up in a 4-3. On the ground. Number 27 is there for the tackle at the 16. Gain of 10. If they can get it to the 16-yard line, that would be a first down.
Hold the look.
And they're threatening again with the ball inside the 20. Give it to the halfback. Stratton is there on the stop at the 10-yard line.
Hey, all he had to do was get behind those big old blockers and just keep pushing. The next thing you know, they're moving the chains.
They need 10 for the touchdown.
Ball on the 10-yard line.
Let's go. Here we go, baby. Rock and roll. Watch out. It's on.
Tosses it out to the right. They'll spot this one at the 9-yard line. He runs off tackle for a gain of a couple.
Second
9 yards,
and
they'll be
9.
in the end zone.
Ball on the 9-yard line.
One back. Deuce it.
The Seahawks with a 4-man front. With the carry, Harris comes up to make the play. At the 2, he kept his legs moving, gets 7 hard-earned yards. New Orleans has started off quickly as the first quarter comes to an end with the score 10-0. The teams have switched sides and will start the second quarter. 8th play of this drive. Ball inside the 1.
Come on. Back it up, baby.
Can he get there? Touchdown.
And here's a case where you let your big guards and tackles and center do all the dirty work, and you just follow them in and get the touchdown.
Campbell comes in to attempt the point after. The point after is good. Another drive leads to another score, and they're really clicking now. This is going to be a very long day for this defense.
They're trying everything out there, but they can't seem to slow these guys down. The offense has a lot of work to do. Maybe it's going to be up to the defense to make some adjustment and find a way to slow this offensive unit down.
New Orleans is lined up for the kickoff. Barnes back deep to return.
This one is taken by Barnes. The Seahawks need to rebound quickly as they start this drive at the 20.
The Seahawks will start the drive at the 20-yard line. First and 10.
Number 21 in the backfield. With a counter play, Robinson is there for the tackle at the 19. And now our viewers can see how successful each team's main running threat has been today. Second and long.
Ball on the 19-yard line.
Only one man in the backfield. Gets rid of it. He finds his man. John, he's proven he's a consistent target.
Yeah, especially in situations where they're looking to get first down yardage.
So they have first and 10 here.
Ball on the 30-yard line.
Watch the play. Stay both left.
New Orleans comes out in a 4-3. Hand it off. Number 97 comes up to make the play at the 33-yard line.
Mixing runs with passes keeps the defense honest.
Just about a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 coming up here.
Ball on the 33-yard line.
Get it, Sarge. Get it up.
Only one man back. So the quarterback keeper is the call, and the defense sniffed it out perfectly.
On the play.
Third and long.
Ball on the 29-yard line.
Only one man in the backfield. With the pass, it's a screen. Refuses to go down. And he'll take it out of bounds at the 29. Great defensive effort to keep them from getting close to the sticks.
Well, there aren't too many plays in the playbook for 3rd and a mile. You got to try something other than a short route.
Taylor comes into the game for the punt. Fisher is the deep return man. And he waves for the fair catch.
Fair catch made at the 32-yard line. First and 10. Ball on the 32-yard line.
Let's go, D. Let us dictate.
The Seahawks with a 4-man front.
Watch the snap down.
Going to the air on 1st down. Throws it. Wide receiver has it. They're going to spot this one at the 47-yard line. He found the ball carrier to make his 4th stop of the game. Excellent recognition by the receiver, reading the coverage and adjusting his route accordingly.
Option routes are receiving routes designed to take advantage of the coverage. It's up to both the receiver and the quarterback to make the same read. If the receiver reads zone, but the quarterback reads man, you can see passes going right to defenders.
Gets the pass off.
You know, as a receiver, you have to be aware of so many things. Where the 1st down marker is, where the defenders are, and where the sideline is as you stretch out to make that catch.
Number 89 was the one they were trying to get the ball to.
2nd and 10. Ball on the 47-yard line.
Go, 1-1-1.
With the pass. This one will be spotted at the 45. The tackle is his 5th of the game. Clint has 5 receptions in the game. Looking for a 3rd down conversion here. They have to get it to the 43.
Not one inch, fellas. Watch it, sir. It's set. Nowhere. Hey.
Passing here on 3rd and short. Pressure coming.
They have a bunch of guys in this defense who can really get after their quarterback. With their speed and quickness, they can get around the blockers and put a lot of pressure on the signal caller.
Barnes lines up deep for the punt return. And he chooses not to return this one.
Fair catch made at the 10-yard line.
So they have 1st and 10 here.
1st and 10.
What's the hard count? We're coming right.
The Saints come out in a 4-3. Looking for something long. Drops the interception. So he's able to break up that pass, and it saves what would have been a very big game.
2nd and 10. Ball on the 10-yard line.
Watch each other back. Keep the throttle down.
New Orleans goes with a 4-man front. Steps up into the pocket. Incomplete. Lewis was the intended receiver on that play.
The intended receiver on the play. Third and 10. Ball on the 10-yard line.
Watch the vertical. Watch the vertical.
Number 21, the lone back.
All right, here we go. All right, let's go.
Gets rid of it. Incomplete pass. Good timing, getting in between the ball and the receiver to save what would have been a big gain. Taylor will come in now to punt it away. Fisher is back to receive this kick. Fumble. The Seahawks are there to pick up the ball. They give it right back to the net for the fumble on the punt return.
I'll tell you, when you're returning a punt, your #1 priority is to hold on to the ball. I mean, your defense just made a good stand. And the offense is set to come in and make something happen.
First
And you
and
do
10.
something like that.
Ball on the 36-yard line.
Get it up. Clear. Clear. Get it
Number
up.
21 in the backfield. Hand it off. Ferguson comes up to make the play at the 32-yard line.
Running the ball consistently is the first step in creating a balanced attack.
Ball on the 32-yard line.
Ball on the 32-yard line.
Let's run.
Gets rid of it. He finds his man. Wilson is there for the tackle at the 20-yard line. You can't draw it up any better than that. Textbook first down.
First and 10. Ball on the 20-yard line.
It's showtime, baby. We're talking about reading.
Key series here as they're in the red zone trying to stay in the game. Burrow is there on the stop at the 11. 8-yard gain.
On the play.
They need 11 yards to get it into the end zone.
11-yard line.
All right, now. Watch the play.
The Saints line up in a 4-3. Well, comes up to make the play at the 6-yard line.
That's a good job of separating out of the defensive lineman. They created a crack, he saw it, and made his move.
6 yards to go for a
Ball on
touchdown.
the 6-yard line.
We turning it up. Here we go. Let's go, B. Let's go.
Number 21, the lone back on the ground. Myers is there on the stop at the 1-yard line. They don't deviate at all from the last play call as they keep it on the ground. It's second and goal at the 1.
Yes, on.
Drops back. Under pressure. Gunning this one to the end zone. Number 25 was his intended
The
target.
intended receiver on the play.
It's third and goal at the 1-yard line.
Give up nothing. Keep the
New
throttle
Orleans
down.
comes out in their nickel tackle. Closing in. Floats one into the end zone. Makes the catch.
Touchdown.
Got it to his running back who was in single coverage against a linebacker. I thought he might challenge this one, and sure enough, it'll be reviewed.
The call in the field is questionable. They might decide that they made an incorrect call and reverse it.
It appeared he did a great job of keeping his balance along the sidelines.
Yeah, and the only question is, did he step out? That's what I think they're looking for in the booth.
Incomplete pass. There is no touchdown on the play.
So he takes advantage of the option to challenge the play, and it pays off.
You bet. They just went from a bad play to a good one. And that does a lot for your team. Now let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Hamilton lines up for the field goal to try to put them on the board for the first time in the game. The veteran connecting for the field goal.
Not every drive is going to get you a touchdown, so getting 3 was big. Now they got to go over what worked and what didn't, so the next drive will get them a TD.
Seattle is lined up for the kickoff. Fisher back deep to
And he got all of that one. A great kick. This one is taken by Fisher. Almost at the 2-minute mark now.
On the 20-yard line.
The Seahawks line up in a 4-3. Schrader is there on the stop at the 22. So after that run, we can see how the two main threats on the ground have fared so far. Two-minute warning coming up.
Ball on the 22-yard line.
All on us, y'all. Let's go. Be good.
Nickelback in this time.
Hey, what's that screen?
This one is handed off. Fakes the handoff. Deep throw. Picked off. It's intercepted. Perfect defensive pull and a great individual effort by number 27.
He has a strong, accurate arm, but he can also be a little reckless with the ball, taking some risk downfield that he really shouldn't. You got to do a little better reading defense.
First and 10.
Throwing like that into a zone coverage, you're going to get into some trouble.
Nothing. They don't get nothing.
New Orleans using three linebackers with a deep throw to the right side. Knocked away.
He did a nice job of getting off the line and getting into his pass pattern, but he had the ball bounce right off his fingertips.
Second and 10. Ball on the 46-yard line.
Under 10, 10.
The Seahawks line up in a 5-receiver set this time. Dropping back, looking for the deep pass down the right side. He made the catch. Kennison is there for the tackle at the 9-yard line.
You know what this does? It keeps one defense on the field, and it doesn't let them get the right personnel in there sometimes.
What screen? Not today. Hold the look.
Pressure goes to the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle.
This is a good play by the offense in the red zone. The wide receiver is going to break away right here and come up with a catch and the touchdown.
The extra point attempt is good. One touchdown is the difference now as they get into the end zone. Hamilton will be kicking off.
Fisher back deep to return.
This one is taken by Fisher.
With this lead, I just run the ball and go into halftime ahead. Hey, this is why you run those 2-minute drills in practice for a situation like this. The only difference is this isn't the scout team defense.
Ball on their own 20.
Start the drive at the 20-yard line. First and 10.
Alone with a man in motion.
All on us, y'all. Let's go.
Deep throw. It's caught. Grant is there for the tackle at the 43. They make a very powerful tandem on offense.
Yeah, you can't let up on defense. If you do, these guys are going to find a way to beat you.
Ball on the 43-yard line.
Ball on the 43-yard line.
Stay soft, man. Keep it up.
They line up in the I formation. Throws it. He was pressured as the defense forced the issue.
Yeah, and that's something the defensive coordinator mentioned in practice this week. Making the quarterback throw the ball before he's ready to throw it.
Second and 10. Ball on the 43-yard line.
Watch the snap down.
With the throw. Goes up, makes the catch.
Timeout
Johnson
call.
pulls in the pass for a first down. He's picked up both first downs on this series. Just about a minute left.
Ball on the 21-yard line.
Things outside. Watch the play.
They'll make this a two-possession game if they get into the end zone in this drive. They're just inside the 20. Fakes the handoff. Goes to the end zone. Trying for the end zone before halftime.
This is just a beautiful play to force the incompletion. I mean, he gets up high, and he turns what could be a touchdown into a heck of a defensive play.
They ain't got nothing. Run that! Cool. 36. Will. Deuce it.
He gets the carry. This one will be spotted at the 15-yard line. He makes his 5th stop of the game on that play. Getting it to the 11-yard line would net them a first down. The last time they were inside the 20, they got a touchdown out of it. He hands it off. Number 27 is there on the stop. So he gets about 5 yards and the first.
Nothing fancy either. He just goes right at the defense to move those chains.
10 yards away from the end zone.
Ball on the 10-yard line.
Get some swag going. There we go.
The Seahawks come out in a nickel package. Throws to the end zone. Broken up.
He has a knack for making a big play. And that was another one right there.
Number 89 was the one they were trying to get the ball to. Eighth play of this drive.
Ball on the 10-yard line.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
Gets the pass off. Right on target to the wide receiver. Barnes is there for the tackle at the 9.
Watch it. Hey, watch the screen. Stay in your lane.
Alone with a man in motion.
Let's go. You turn
Pump fakes. Throwing on the run. Touchdown, New Orleans. Veteran is able to come down with a pass in the end zone.
This is what good, experienced receivers do. They excel when they're given the opportunity to make big plays.
Campbell comes in for the extra point. The point after is good. And a great finish to that drive as they got into the end zone, and the defense is going to have its hands full trying to keep them in check.
They're really executing out there. Seems like just about every call they make works to perfection. If the defense can get them the ball back quickly here, they might be able to put this one away very early.
Squib kick here. This one is handled by Holmes. And this should be the last play of the half.
36-yard line.
Let's go. Yeah, you see me.
From the gun.
Hey, watch that screen.
Keep the throttle down. Going to the air on first down. With the throw. Ooh, nearly picked off. At the end of two, the score is 24-10. Saints.
24, the Seahawks, 10. We're ready to begin the third quarter of play.
Hamilton is back and ready to put this one in the air.
Fisher back to return.
Nice kick. Plenty of distance. This one is fielded by Fisher. The Saints will start the drive from the 20-yard line.
The Saints will start the drive at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10.
Here we go, baby. They soft, man.
They'll pass on 1st down. Uses the pump. Gets rid of it. He hits his receiver. Grant comes up to make the play. And it will be an interference call on that play. The only question was the defender or the receiver. This one goes against the defender.
Both the offensive and the defensive player have a right to go for the ball there. But it looks as though the defender just decided to tackle the receiver rather than play in the pass.
Ball on their own 26.
Ball on the 26-yard line.
Here we come. Let's go now. Back it up, man.
Only one man in the backfield.
Let's go, B. Let's go. Come on.
They give it to the halfback. Schrader is there on the stop.
The best backs in the league average 4 to 5 yards a carry. But there are a lot of things that go into a successful running game. You got to have good play calling, good blocking up front, and a back that can take advantage when he sees the opening.
2nd and 6.
Ball on the 30-yard line.
Defense, get ready. Good shoot. Here we go.
Nickelback in this time. With the throw. Almost intercepted. Number 89 was the intended receiver on that play. Grant was there on the cover.
On the play. Third and 6. Ball on the 30-yard line.
Let us big time. All right, let's go.
These third downs haven't been much of an obstacle, and it's helped them to take the lead. Here they come. Throwing. They're going to spot this one at the 38-yard line. And so that makes tackle number 6.
First and 10. Ball on the 38-yard line.
The Saints come out with 3 receivers tight.
Don't stop that motor.
Throws on the run. Jumps up and comes down with it. The 20, the 10. Touchdown, New Orleans.
I'll tell you, this is nice work by both the quarterback and the receiver in his play. Watch it here. He reads the coverage, looks for the best option, and then throws it to him.
Set.
The point after is good. Big opening drive, moving down the field and putting it into the end zone.
That's excellent execution by the guys out there on offense. They looked confident, moved the ball, and found the end zone. That's a great way to start the second half.
Campbell comes in to kick off.
Barnes back to return.
That one is out of the end zone. The Seahawks have their work cut out for them as they take over at the 20-yard line. So they have 1st and 10 here.
On the 20-yard line.
We gotta have it, D. Here we go.
They'll go from the I formation, looking to run it here. Burrow comes up to make the play at the 22-yard line.
Watch here as he's able to avoid the blocker and get in there and make the tackle. Now that's how you're supposed to play. Don't stop. Keep going until you reach the ball carrier.
Let's go, boys. Hey. Stay backside. This is what going. Let's go. Keep moving. Go make the play.
Pressure coming. Unleashes the deep ball. Incomplete pass. They won the battle at the line of scrimmage and forced a bad throw.
Every quarterback needs a little time to look over the field. There we saw a defense who wasn't given any time at all.
Thomas returns after spending time on the sideline with an injury.
They ain't getting nothing. Let's go. Be physical.
Number 19 sends a man in motion. Under pressure with the pass. Gets his hand on it.
I don't know what happened there. The quarterback did his job delivering a catchable ball. He just couldn't come up with it.
Nothing happening for the offense there, forced into a 3-and-out. From the 44.
33-yard punt, return for a gain of 3 yards.
Ball at about
the drive
midfield.
at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10.
So we gonna take it. One of us gonna make a
The Seahawks line up in a 4-3.
Keep the throttle down. Watch your man. Let's do our thing. Let's do our thing. Here we go. Let's turn it up.
Hand it off to the back. Harris comes up to make the play at the 48-yard line. Now let's have a look at what our runners have done up to this point. Ball at midfield.
Ball on the 48-yard line.
The Seahawks come out in a 4-3. They give it to the halfback. They'll spot this one at the 36-yard line. He was in on that play, giving him 7 tackles so far in the game. And that gain will get them a fresh set of downs.
It was a great run. He saw his blockers create some room for him, and he accelerated right through the hole.
1st and 10. Ball on the 36-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go. It's showtime, baby.
Out of the I formation. With the counterplay, the back breaking free. The 20. Wooden is there for the tackle at the 16. They'll move the chains again after another long gain on the ground.
You know, I was talking to the coach the other day, and he said he wanted to emphasize the run a little more. And that's exactly what we're seeing.
It's 1st and 10.
Ball on the 16-yard line.
Watch your eyes. Royce in. Danny.
The last time they were down here, they scored a touchdown. Goes to the end zone. Caught.
Now that's just great field awareness. Giving your quarterback a target in the back of the end zone while knowing exactly where you are.
Campbell comes in to attempt the point after. The point after is good.
Scoring a touchdown not only puts points on the board, it sends a message to the other team that if you execute properly, they won't be able to stop you. And they say 90% of the game is half mental.
New Orleans is lined up for the kickoff. Barnes back deep to return.
This one is fielded by Barnes. The defense forced a punt the last time after 3 plays.
They'll
First
take
and
over
10.
at the 20-yard line. First and 10.
Will. Everything you got.
New Orleans comes out in a 4-3.
Defense, get ready.
Handed off to the back. Burrow is there on the stop at the 24. So let's take a look at how this back compares to the opposition. It's second down and 6 to
Ball
go.
on the 24-yard line.
Get it started.
The backs are lined up in an I.
Hold the look.
Pump fakes. Down he goes. The big man gets in there for a big sack.
He's got a great combination of size and move. Now, he won't be winning any races, but he's good at getting after the quarterback. And let me tell you, you never want him to be the guy falling on top of you.
After the sack, they'll be looking at third and long here.
19-yard line.
Oh, this too tough for you.
Watch the draw still. Temple. Play hard and fast, baby. DB, let's go.
The rush is on. Fakes the throw. Deep throw. Almost picked off. Seattle fails once again to get the first down, and that's 7 times.
Yeah, and that's huge for the defense to keep stepping up on third down like that. They're a solid group of guys who make key stops.
Taylor is ready to punt this one away. Fisher sets up, waiting for the punt. From the 49.
32-yard punt. Return for a gain of 1 yard.
Ball on the 50-yard line.
50-yard line. First and 10.
Get some swat going. Let's go. Stay high.
Only one man in the backfield. Harris is there on the stop at the 43.
You got to keep going to the run. You never know when there's going to be great blocking ahead of you, allowing for a big one right into the end zone.
Ball on the 43-yard line.
Ball on the 43-yard line.
All go special. What's all go special?
The Seahawks come out in a nickel pack. Drops back, gets the pass off. Gets his hand on it.
He needs to do a better job reading the defense. He didn't appear to see the defender, who was right there waiting to pick it off. He was just lucky that he didn't get there a little sooner.
Reed was his intended target.
3rd and 3. Ball on the 43-yard line.
Here we come.
Eaton is the deep back. With the counterplay. Number 27 is there on the stop at the 36-yard line. And he was able to create a lot of space on that run, John.
Well, it started with some good blocking. And when he got through there, he turned upfield, and they weren't in position to tackle him.
First and 10.
Ball on the 36-yard line.
Here we go. Hey, watch the ball.
Out of the I formation. Play action with the throw. The 10. And he makes the grab. Touchdown, New Orleans.
I'll tell you, the quarterback and the receiver looked like they've been working on that route for a long time, and it paid off there.
Campbell comes in for the extra point. The extra point attempt is good.
That was a nice job of keeping those chains moving and avoiding costly penalty. Now they've got to see if they can keep this momentum that they have established going for the remainder of this game.
New Orleans is lined up for the kickoff. Barnes back deep to return.
Sends it sailing. This one is handled by Barnes. They forced a 3-and-out on the last series. Ball on their own 20.
Start the drive at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10.
New Orleans goes with a 4-man front.
Keep the throttle down.
Going to the left. This one will be spotted at the 24-yard line. That's his 3rd tackle in the contest. Number 21 got to the outside quickly and picked up 5.
Second and 6. Ball on the 24-yard line.
Watch each other back. No more, fellas.
The Saints come out in a dime package. Closing in, going for the deep man. He was tipped.
It's the old adage, speed kill. So does dropping the ball.
2 minutes left in the quarter.
Ball on the 24-yard line.
We like a pack of wolves. What's his
I think this defense looks forward to these 3rd down situations because they've been stopping them today.
Gets the pass off, jumps up, and he has it. Puts it on the ground. The Saints recover. He was able to rip that one away from the ball carrier. It's 1st and 10. So with the play in question, the coach has decided to challenge the call.
Yeah, they might get this call reversed.
Clearly a big momentum shift could be in the making as we take a look at a possible fumble.
And they really had no choice but to challenge this because of what it could mean for both teams. I don't know. It's a tough call from seeing that angle.
No fumble occurred.
So he takes advantage of the option to challenge the play, and it pays off.
If you don't use them, they go to waste.
New Orleans goes with a 4-man front.
All right. Clear! Clear! Here we go! Let's go, let's go! Hey, watch the screen! Here we go!
Hand it off. Haynes is there for the tackle at the 40-yard line.
They've done a pretty good job moving the ball on the ground.
Second and 2.
Ball on the 40-yard line.
Hey, let's go, 1D!
New Orleans comes out in a 4-3.
Check it! Everything you got! Here we go!
It's a blitz. Gets rid of it. And it's caught.
Late.
Incomplete. Didn't get much.
No gain on the play. Third and 2. Ball on the 40-yard line.
Don't be in now! Stay both now!
Number 21 in the backfield.
One of us gonna make a play.
To carry it. Well, is there for the tackle at the 47-yard line. Great run there. That'll be a 1st down.
He really ran well there. He gets some great blocks, and he has patience as he picks up the 1st down.
First and 10.
Ball on the 47-yard line.
Let's go! Get some swag going!
The Saints line up in a 4-3. Hand it off. Haynes comes up to make the play at the 49-yard line.
Second and 6. Ball on the 49-yard line.
Deuce it. Let's go!
New Orleans comes out in their nickel package.
Come on! Keep the throttle down. Watch the snap down. Play football.
With the pass. The pass ball's incomplete. A little bit long, overthrowing the receiver.
It looks a little jumpy back there. One thing you never want to do is look at the rush. You want to keep your eyes downfield. If you start looking at the rush, then you can never be effective.
Ball on the 49-yard line.
We gotta have it, D. We coming to wreck.
The Saints with a four-man front. Long throw. This one falls incomplete. Seattle falters again on third down, John.
And you know something? This is why teams lose games. They do some things right, but then when they need the big play to help win a game, they fall apart.
So as we get set for the punt, let's take a look at our returners' stats. Fisher sets up to run back the punt. From the 19-yard line. Fisher doesn't have a whole lot of room to work with, getting it to 27-yard line. Ball on their own 27.
At the 27-yard line. First and 10.
The Seahawks come out in a 4-3. He tucks it away. Setting up play action on the run. He's there for the catch. Great call against the blitz here.
And you can do that if you can get the protection you need, because you know you're going to have a good matchup down the field if you can get the time to throw it.
Ball on the 24-yard line.
Ball on the 24-yard line.
Everything you got. Not today.
They line up in the I formation. Thomas comes in motion. So we've reached the end of the third quarter with the Saints ahead of the Seahawks 45-10. And we'll start the fourth quarter. Ball on the 24-yard line.
Ball on the 24-yard line.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Eaton is the deep back. Play action. Gets rid of it. Number 27 makes the play at the 17. Payne gains about 7 yards on that reception. They're inside the 20.
Ball on the 17-yard line.
Eaton, the deep man.
So we gonna take it. Here we go, baby. Rock
Drops
and roll.
back. Pressure with the throw. He hits his receiver. They'll spot this one at the 7-yard line. So that tackle was his third. He put something extra on that throw, and that'll keep the chains moving.
And that's what it takes sometimes, because defenders are so quick that 1 millisecond can make a difference.
It's first and goal at the 7.
Lucky. So low. I can do it, baby.
The Seahawks come out in a 4-3.
Don't stop that motor.
Pumps. Gets rid of it. Incomplete pass.
Look at the big old defensive lineman. He does a heck of a job of getting in the passing lane and knocking down the pass.
Let's ride, man. Need a hammer, not the nail.
Dropping back. Pressure coming. The veteran slips in there and gets the sack.
Hey, you still got to give him a lot of respect. His moves haven't diminished that much, and he still makes impact plays.
It's third and goal at the 12.
They soft, man.
The Seahawks line up in a 4-3. Hand it off. Wooden is there on the stop at the 13. Trying to run it on third down does not work, so we'll see what they decide to do in this situation. Campbell and the kicking team come on for this field goal attempt. Through the uprights and good. The Saints have it all working now as they continue to expand their lead.
New Orleans is lined up for the kickoff. Barnes back deep to return.
This one is taken by Barnes.
It sure doesn't look like they're going to be able to come back in this one, but it's an issue of pride. They want to prove that they're better than they've played so far.
First and 10.
Will start the drive at the 20-yard line. First and 10.
Hey, let's go one deep. Blue down, blue down.
New Orleans goes with a four-man front. On the call. Wilson is there on the stop at the 30-yard line.
These guys that can shrug off tackles are great to have in your backfield. Some of these guys are big and they just run over the defender, while other guys wait until the defender commits and they use a move or a juke or a spin to get out of a tackle.
Let's go. Let's go, dude. Here we go.
The Saints with a four-man front. Under pressure, throws it. This one falls incomplete. That ball does not have enough on it. Number 89 was the one they were trying to get the ball to.
Third and inches. Ball on the 30-yard line.
Let us dictate. Yeah, you see me. Let us lock up.
This team has to start converting on third down if they're going to be successful.
Dropping back, closing in, going for the deep man. In and out of his hands.
Pretty good play call on that one. Everything happened just as it's drawn up. Just couldn't hang on to it.
Fisher gets set for the return as we take a look at his numbers. Unable to get anything going on that series, they'll have to punt it away here. He can't control the ball. The Seahawks grab the live ball.
By the defense.
Following the turnover now, it's first and 10.
34-yard line.
I can do it, baby. You gotta have it, dude.
The Saints line up in a 4-3. Looking for room and a fumble. The Seahawks have it.
Now this is how they teach you to tackle. Watch this one right here. You get in good tackling position, deliver a shot, and knocks the ball right out of there.
Let's go. Lucky. 3 shoot. Let's go now. Hey, let's go. Watch each other back.
With the pass. This pass is incomplete. Good push by the defensive line, forcing the incomplete pass.
He hung in there. He didn't really have the time that he needed to make the play. The quarterback has to know who his outlet guy is and get the ball to him when he feels that pressure coming.
So as they get set to try to convert, here's what both teams have done on third down. Throws it. He was tipped.
It's very hard to be successful if you can't convert on third down. And it's very hard to convert on third down if your guys can't find a way to hang on to the ball.
Watch your eyes.
As expected, they'll go for it here.
Let's go. They worry about us coming.
Pressure, throwing, knocked away.
They'll take over at the 33-yard line. First and 10.
Be the hammer, not the nail. Keep moving. Defense, get ready.
Here comes the blitz. With the pass, Broken up. Malone appears to have sustained an injury and will make his way to the sideline under his own power.
Second and 10. Ball on the 33-yard line.
Rush in. Here we go. It's on.
The Seahawks line up in a 4-3. Smith comes up to make the play at the 39. He has been a solid runner for them all year long. He's now over the 1,000-yard mark. Third and 4.
Ball on the 39-yard line.
They've executed very well on third down so far, and that's a big reason why they're ahead at the moment. This one is handed off. McGuire is there for the tackle at the 40. The third down run, not enough to keep the drive alive, so the punting team coming in.
There's nothing wrong with trying to grind it out in the fourth quarter when you're playing with a lead.
Pollard comes into the game for the punt. Barnes looks like he's ready for the return. From the 28-yard line, and the fumble goes out of bounds. Ball on their own 29. So an update now on the injury. It doesn't appear to be anything serious, and his return is probable. Number 19 sends a man in motion.
Stay posted up. Let's go. Be physical.
Tosses it right. Robinson is there on the stop at the 29. Number 21 is able to get a yard or two on the toss.
Second and 9. Ball on the 29-yard line.
Number 19 looking to pass. Lines up with 5 wide receivers. The pass falls incomplete. Copeland was the intended receiver on that play. Malone returns from being injured.
Here we go. Let's go.
The offense has had trouble moving the sticks on third down so far.
From the start.
Pressure coming. Throws on the move. Nearly intercepted.
What the defense is doing is they're watching the quarterback's eyes. They're cluing. They're in position so that whatever happens, the ball is in front of them. And that time, it almost got him an interception.
Good defensive stand there. Now they'll punt it away after a 3-and-out. From the 33-yard line.
37-yard punt, return for a gain of 2 yards.
So they have first and 10 here.
At the 36-yard line. First and 10.
The Seahawks with a 4-man front.
Let's do our thing. Let's do our thing.
They give it to the halfback. Runs him over. Schrader is there for the tackle at the 38. The defensive tackle surged through the line to bring the runner down.
Second and 7. Ball on the 38-yard line.
Blue jam, blue jam. Let's go.
Eaton, the deep back. Number 89 goes in motion.
Let's go now.
Looking to run it here. Harris is there on the stop at the 43. Eaton with a nice burst through the middle that time. 5-yard pickup. Two-minute warning coming up.
Ball on the 43-yard line.
Lock it up. Hey, defense, get ready.
Nice job so far on third down for the offense, and we'll see if that continues here.
Under 10, 10. Stay inside right here.
This one is handed off. Schrader tackles him, but not before the first down is reached. Big-time play by the fullback, moving the chains.
Hey, they didn't need a whole lot, and when they have to pick up a short one, this is their guy.
Almost at the 2-minute mark now.
The 46-yard line.
Tampa! They ain't got nothing. Hey, watch the ball.
And we've reached the 2-minute mark.
Ball on the 46-yard line.
Let's go, boys. Get it up.
The Seahawks line up in a 4-3. Barnes is there on the stop at the 43-yard line. It's another running play, and they'll pick up another first down.
Hey, when things are clicking like this, you just want to keep going for as long as you can.
Ball on the 43-yard line.
Ball on the 43-yard line.
Turn it up now. Set. Here I come.
Hands off to the tailback. McGuire is there for the tackle. He battles his way forward for what appears to be a 2-yard pickup. Second and 9 coming up here.
Ball on the 42-yard line.
Defense, get ready. Keep the throttle down.
The Seahawks with a 4-man front. Hand it off to the back. Harris comes up to make the play. At the 38, Taylor takes advantage of a little daylight, picks up 3 yards. Third down, and the spot they'll have to reach for a first is the 33.
Danny. There we go, D.
Sparks, the deep man.
Hold the look. Keep moving.
Hands off to the tailback. Wooden makes the stop before the first down is reached. Trying to take time off the clock with the lead. What do you think, John? Are they a little too conservative here?
But maybe you want to give the other team as little time as possible. They're pretty comfortable running it, and falling short of the first isn't a big deal because you keep the clock moving.
Campbell will have to get a lot of leg into this one. The kick is long enough and good. The Saints pour it on with another score.
New Orleans is lined up for the kickoff. Barnes back deep to return.
That one is out of the end zone.
This is one of those situations where they're playing for respect. The game really hasn't gone the way they thought it would, but they have a lot of pride in their team. I'd expect to see them keep fighting till that final whistle.
It's first and 10.
Ball on the 20-yard line.
Get my cat back.
The Saints with a 4-man front.
Hey, let's go.
Throws it. Myers is there on the stop at the 26. He's rushing the offense back to the line.
Stay backside.
Here comes the blitz. Throwing. And it's complete. The 40. They're going to spot this one at the 48-yard line. It's the 4th stop he's made today. Let's see how this defense handles the no-huddle.
Let's run, man.
A lot of scoring, but a one-sided
The final
game.
score is New Orleans 51, Seattle 10.
This is Al Michaels with John Madden saying goodbye for EA Sports.